This is going to be an overview of academic and administrative program review. There's been a significant change in the interface. We do have handbooks. I know some of you are like me. You like to have the handbook you can write in. Here's a copy of the administrative or academic one and the administrative one. And you can come by the office anytime and pick one up. We have them here for you. Also, if you're coming to the Sweet World Cafe, if you're an academic, then you can pick them up. We'll have them at that venue as well, but you can get them from us anytime, and we've asked to put them on the website as well. I'm going to be turning this session over to Sonia to walk you through the difference in the interface. Just like in previous years, though, anytime during the academic year, if you need help with something, if you need a one-on-one session, if you need us, if you're having problems, you don't see something you think you should see, you've forgotten how to do something, just call us. I always, one of our things we always say is don't just hit your head against the wall. Call us and we'll be happy to walk you through the process. There's a little bit of difference between academic and administrative program review. So when we get to that part of the session today, where it continues on with some things that the academics have to do that administrative don't, we will let you know so that if you are one of our administrative folks, you can go ahead and sign off if you want to, but not before we tell you to. So I'm going to turn this over to Sonia at this point.
Okay, good morning. I am going to share my screen, and this is going to be a broad overview. We'll have more detailed hands-on training sessions in September that we'll send out to everybody so you can pick a date that works and time that works best for you to get. We'll get in a computer lab so that you can actually work through the screens. But right now I'm just going to show you what they've done, and it's much more user-friendly, and let's walk through it. So here we go. Okay, move this over. So I'm going to start from the login screen. Not much has changed there. You still go to the My JCC tab, and my password was already entered. So we're no longer the last one. They've added something after us. So program review is the next to last one under the JCCC links. And there we go. Here's our new home page. So when you log in, you should see welcome and your name. And on the side, you'll see just icons. I'm going to mimic someone else for right now, so you'll get a better understanding of what your screen will look like instead of seeing all of the administrative stuff that I have. Okay, so whether you're academic or administrative, you'll see the icons and the blue bar. So the first one is for planning, which is the little calendar. The second one, the little bar graph, is for your assessment module. And that's also where you go in for program review, not just to enter assessment data. And then the very last one is for resources. That's where your appropriate links are. That's where your handbooks are uploaded. And so we'll go through all of these. So when you select the first one, you do have to remember the double click and the single click. That's been primarily taken out. And so it's just a single click, and then you'll see a menu. So you see all planning, create new goal, and so on. And at the very bottom, you should see your department name. Now, for those of my supervisors or directors that you have multiple departments reporting to you, you'll see all of those departments listed below. It won't just be one, you might have several listed. So I always tell people to start with all planning, since this is not our first go around. And what that does, it's going to show you if you have any goals that were brought forward from last year. So say you did a multi-year goal, then this would show you what's pending, what's in there. It'll also show you if you have, as you're working on your goals, if you have anything that's in draft status. So it's just a good way to get a good snapshot of what's going on. And if you're starting from scratch, let's see here. I'm going to back up 1 second. Say you don't have any goals listed and you just want to go in and look around, maybe you do. You would just select the title of your department and it takes you to the planning details. And so you can see unit manager, members of the unit, and anything else that's on this screen. And what I like about this software, it's very easy to make changes now. So say you needed to change something here. And I said that and it's not working. Why? And I think I've frozen. So we're going to get out of that. And I'm going to go back to what I normally do. What is happening?
While Sonia figures that out a second, we apologize. With all some of the COVID protocols and stuff, we had some things come up that we weren't planning on. One thing while Sonia's figuring that out, you'll notice here at the top of the screen that she's on right now, over on the right-hand side, you'll see the 21-22 current academic year. So that's starting this brand new cycle of program review. If you want to see a previous cycle of program review, you would click that little caret right there by 21-22, and previous planning years would be in there if you need to look at something that was already loaded up. So are you where you need to be, Sonia?
Yes, finally.
Okay.
And it's a little glitchy, so bear with me. So remember I told you with all planning, if you have multiple departments that are either reporting to you or you're a member of more than one department, when you select all planning, this gives you a kind of an outlook of what you'll see. If there are goals that have been brought forward, or if there are goals you're working on that are still in draft status, it shows you. So it's a great little snapshot of what's happening right now in the planning department. So in this case, though, we want to go to look at, well, I need to make changes. I need to make some updates. So as you see, if it's a very light blue highlight, and I want to add my purpose. And so I just select there, and it's just a left click, one click, and to the right, you'll see planning unit details. This is an editing screen. So anything you do in here, you don't touch your unit code, and you probably won't have access to it, but you can update your unit title, say your department name has slightly changed. And at the bottom, you can add the purpose. What is the purpose of my department? So you can add some narrative here, and you click save, and it will update. So it's very easy to update items in this new form. So what I do want to show you, because it's very pertinent, a lot of departments are going to have to create new goals this year. So when you go back to the little planning icon, it gives you create a new goal. So you don't have to look all over the place anymore. And you just select create a new goal, and it just walks you through it. So title here. And then for planning unit, you're only going to see your planning unit. I see everything, but right now I'm a bit more comfortable doing it here. And then you have that multi-year box. This is where you decide, is this goal going to be completed within this academic year, or do I need 2 to 3 more academic years? And so you would just select multi-year, your goal purpose, the goal status, this is a new goal, and then you enter your narrative. So stuff that we've done time and time and again, the screens just look a little different. They're a little bit more user-friendly. Select save, which is great. And then, there it is. And you have your details. And this is where you can go to enter additional information. This is where you can go and make changes. Oh, my goal description wasn't quite what I wanted. It's highlighted, you click here, it opens over here, and you can make changes. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Up here, you have your upper toolbar. This is where if you want to go into more detail, you can add tasks. Those tasks can be assigned to people. I'm not going to go through all the screens this particular time. They're in your handbooks that you can come by and get. And if you want us to send them to your office through interoffice mail, please just shoot me an email. I'll gladly do that for you. But again, when you click on it, you get this little box to the right. Very easy to make those changes and add things now. And you just have to kind of scroll to the bottom to see where your save is. You have a results page if you want to, and this is for my people who are a bit more detailed. Not everybody uses this. You're not required to use it. The only thing you need to do is you have to have that goal in there. You don't have to add task and results. It's nice if you're working with multiple people so everybody can stay on the same page, but it's not a requirement that we have for you. The tools are there for your use. And then you have the attachment section if you want to add documents. Okay. Any questions on this part? Because I don't want to go too fast. Anything you guys want me to back up for you to see? But to me, the planning module, it was good. In its last iteration, it's even better. It's much simpler to use.
Sonia, I put this in the chat, but is the planning module for the annual program review, not the comprehensive, right?
Both. Because in comprehensive and in annual, you're going to have goals. Now, in annual, you may just be updating existing goals, whereas in comprehensive, maybe you're adding new goals. It can go either way, depends on where you are in the goal structure. So even for the comprehensive, this is where we are. Yes, you'll start here.
Okay. And do we go further with comprehensive?
Yes, comprehensive is more detailed from the program review side when I get to the templates. But
Okay.
as far as the actual planning, that's a year-to-year thing. You should always be doing planning, whether it's updating existing goals or saying, hey, we finished these, we need to add more goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so if you find yourself somewhere and you're like, I don't know how I get out this screen, I don't know how I got here, this little SPOL symbol right here in the left-hand corner, the little circle with the arrows, if you select it, it takes you back to the main screen and you're like, okay, I can start over again. Because sometimes you might get someplace while you're not sure how you got there and you really don't want to be there. And so by the same token, if you're not interested, say you've been working on goals and you're like, I don't need any of this up here. You go to the bottom and you select your department name and that takes you here to a different screen. And then you just click goals and you can see what goals you're working on. You can see if they're in draft status. You can see goals that are pending for approval by your supervisor or your director or your dean. So like here you see a green dot and a yellow dot. The green dot means I've submitted it for approval. The yellow dot means it's pending approval by my manager. 2 green dots, the goal has been approved. Draft, it hasn't been sent to anybody. I'm still working on it. So let's open a draft one. It's just one click. And I didn't want to go there. Here we go. Info, come on. I apologize. I am lagging horribly. Speed up your browser. Yeah. Now, I assure you, I've had no internet problems until I started trying to do this class today. Everything's frozen. My goodness. All right, share it. I may have to have you jump in here and share your screen because I'm locked up.
Okay. Let me
stop share.
You stop the share. I'll have to pull her up. Hey, everybody. This is the joys of teaching in an internet age, is it not? So we'll take just a minute to pull it up. The biggest thing to remember that we've seen the most questions on so far, we've had a few folks trying to get into their systems, etc., is the fact that you have to, if you want to see what you previously submitted, you do need to go into that previous academic year. It's not populating forward for you other than your planning goals. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a document, etc.
Okay, let me try one more time.
I say, because now mine's going slow.
Yeah, so it might be Spol this morning, unfortunately.
Or it might
So-
be JCCC.
That's true. So I'm at the welcome page again. Remember, so on the planning icon, you
Are
go
you
down.
sharing? Okay, there you go.
I'm sharing
Okay.
again. You select your unit name, your department name, and it takes you to the planning unit details. And then you can just select goals and it shows you all of the goals here. And if you want to go in to do some updating, you're still in draft mode, you just select it. And then where you submit it is here, where it says draft. It's the upper right-hand corner. There's a drop-down box and it says approve objective. And that's how you submit your goal to your supervisor. You can make notes or not, and then just submit approve, select approve. And all of a sudden, Sherry's name is in that box and it lets me know it's been sent to her and I'm waiting on her approval for this goal.
A very common problem we've had with SPOL, both the previous interface and we'll see how this one goes, is people are forgetting that they need to approve their goals first so that it forwards to the supervisor. When we've tried pulling lists for deans, et cetera, of goals that have been submitted, a lot of them just stayed in the draft form because folks just forgot that they have to approve them first. So basically by approving, you're saying, I'm done with everything I intend to do with this goal. It's absolutely perfect. Let's send it forward to the dean. And that's what happens when you hit that approve function. Otherwise, it stays in draft forever.
Exactly. And remember, all planning is a good way to see if you submitted your goals. You go to that all planning and it's going to show you, you've got here, you're going to see either draft mode or you're going to see these little dots. And if you have 2 green dots, it's done. If you have a green and a yellow, you've submitted it to your supervisor. So you're just waiting. Draft modes mean you haven't submitted it to anyone yet. So any questions for planning module? Okay, we're going to go on to program review. I say that we're going to go on to program review. Ha, thank you. So we're going to use the little graph. And when we click that, you get all this great stuff. So I'm going to go straight to my department, which is Bunnyboro. And this is just like kind of the home page for it. So you have your information. If you've added a program description or a mission statement in the past, it has been brought forward. If you haven't and you want to add one, you see that where the little highlight comes, you select it and you get a editing box to the right. You can add a description for your department and you can add a mission statement for your department. And so once you enter your narrative, and you just select save and then it will update automatically. Now, one thing I will ask everyone to do as soon as possible for my academic departments that should have courses, this is where you will see your courses listed. You need to go and check to make sure you actually have courses there. And remember, these are not courses for the fall. These are courses that made last spring, correct, Sherry?
All last year.
Last year.
All last year you've uploaded. So because with assessment, you're reporting on what happened last year. These are all courses that happened in the last academic year. If you didn't offer it, it's not on here. But if you did offer it, it should be. So that's a great place for you to check for us and let us know if anything's missing so we can get that corrected really quick with the company.
So to get to your program review, there's a tab on the upper toolbar that says reviews. You select reviews. And you're going to see either comprehensive or annual. If you don't see anything, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email because I do have to go in and load these for you. And I hope I got everybody, but sometimes it's easy with department name changes and things. Things just drop off. So please let me know if you do not have a template, and you just select the template that's there, and then all your standards are loaded. This is a comprehensive academic template, but the process is the same whether you're academic, administrative, comprehensive, or annual. So you see shading in the areas, the ones that are shaded, that's where you select your mouse at, or you click, and that's when it's going to open for you. Okay. So you see program summary, and then you have an edit function, and then you're going to select edit, and it's going to open your box, and that's where you enter your information. You have your save key, and it's there. Okay. So anywhere you have this lightly shaded area, those boxes are going to be things you can edit. And so whether it's student success, it pulls it up, and you see where it says enter narrative, and gives you information, brief information, if you don't have your book handy, of what goes in this particular section. If you need additional information, go to your handbook, because we also have examples in your handbook. And again, you just click edit, and you would enter your narrative. Now, adding evidence or documents, it's a little easier, but it's not as intuitive, meaning these little ellipses here, after you've entered your narrative or before you entered your narrative, this is where you go, what they call it inserting evidence. It's attaching a document. So you click there and you see insert evidence. And then this little box is going to open to the side. And you're like, okay, I can upload a document. Select upload. And then, oh gosh. And this is the part, I see everything. You're not going to see all of this. You're only going to see a folder if you've put one over there. And so I've selected Bunnyboro. And what'll happen is you may not have a folder. That's okay. You go here to create one. And again, all of this is in the handbook. You would do new directory. Do not leave the name new directory. As you can see, I had a lot of people do that, and I've got like 19 new directories. So if you are accounting department, put ACCT 2021. You know, I'm Bunnyboro, so I would use Bunnyboro 2021, maybe -22.
If Sonia and I could beg you to do one thing, it would be to please name your directories, because what will happen is later, a year from now, someone will call us, hey, I put this information out there, I can't find it. Well, you can see, because we are administrators, we see literally hundreds and hundreds of file folders. So if you name it by your department name, that will help both of us not have a mental breakdown at any point this coming year.
And the way they've set it up this year so far, it appears that once you create that folder, I've created my folder, you see I don't have anything in it, that folder name goes from section 2.0 to section 5.0. You'll see that folder, and you can just continually add documents to it. For if I want to put something in section 5, I'll go through the same process, but I'll already have a folder there. I don't have to create new folders in each section. So that's a nice thing. So I would select upload, and I'm going to select a file, and it opens your drive on your desktop. And I'm just going to grab something here. Got all sorts of craziness going on. I just have to remember to. And then
I had a question about the folder. Did you say that when we go in and we create this document, it will make it a folder, or we have to create a folder?
No, you create your folder.
Okay.
And once you create your folder and name it, you shouldn't have to create another folder. That's what I've been finding as I move around and play around in this. And I'll show you what happens. So that document's there, and I've inserted that document. And then I've got my narrative, and I can also do objectives here. If you want to, and they call it objectives, it's our goals. If you want to attach a goal that goes with a certain section of your program review, You do it here and you just select add objective and it does it. If there's a learning outcome you want to attach, the same thing. Very, very straightforward. You don't have to go to multiple screens. Remember how you have to get out, save it, get out, and then go into a different screen. You do everything here. And once it's done, you select save. You select save. And it'll take you back to your template. And it takes you back to the section you were working on. It doesn't kick you all the way out again. So you can see, okay, I have my documents attached. I attach one of my goals and I don't have any learning outcomes attached because I don't need one here. And I can move on to another section.
And we have gotten feedback from the program review committee and from your deans as well. Those of you that don't do any kind of attachment of your goals or learning outcomes, et cetera, when you're in a section, that's a detriment really for both you and the person reviewing your program review submission, your dean, because he doesn't necessarily remember all the way back. He's done 50 things since he last looked at yours, and now he's coming back to it. If you go ahead and attach that objective, that's helpful to the dean to remember, oh yeah, okay, this is part of that project they're working on, and this is important to them, and there's going to be a budget request related to this. So take the time. It won't take you long at all. It's all on that one screen.
Okay, so, and as you move through the different sections, I'm going to point this out. You see up here by your edit key, by the orange edit key, says draft. Ignore it. Forget it's there. It doesn't exist. We don't have a way to take this out. We do not submit every section of our program review because of the way our template is. For every section you edit, if you did that, your dean would receive an email for every single section and subsection that gets information in it. So we do not use that. Just that, let that stay in draft mode. That's just one of those functions we haven't been able to turn off. And as you go through, it's just literally rinse and repeat. You'll use the edit key, you'll enter your narrative. If you want to enter evidence, you go to those little ellipses and it brings up your evidence box and you start the process. So remember I told you I would be able to access, there's that folder and I can upload another document. And what it does, it allows you to put all those documents in the same folder, but only attach it to the appropriate section.
Sonia?
Yes.
In chat, we have a request that you show again how to create a new folder.
Okay. All right. So once we've gone here, we'll use the upload document. And there's two review response documents. You go to the second one. And so I'm pointing right at the response. I'm going to do a right click. And this is for people who are not on Mac. I know sometimes it's different if you're using a Mac. So I'm going to right click on review response documents and it gives me an option to create a new directory. Once I highlight it, single click, and it gives me, okay, it's telling me do a name here. So if I'm basket weaving and I want to do a year, and then it doesn't, for whatever reason, the enter key doesn't work there. You just click out of the box and you have basket weaving right here. And then you see there are no documents in here. And so I would use the upload function and follow the on-screen prompts to get my documents and upload them. Any additional questions? And I've done, your pictures in your handbook are much larger this time. I'll call it a picture book because it's really step-by-step process in pictures. I also have narrative in there for you, but I tried to keep the narrative simple this year. And so hopefully it's much easier to follow. And I'm trying to see which page. I don't have everything in front of me, but I do have this information in there to help you walk through. And I think it starts on page 36 of your handbook. and I go through each screen, and I even have helpful hints. So if you miss a step and you're like, oh, I didn't get a chance to rename it and it says new directory 23, then I show you how to go in and rename that new directory so you have an actual name instead of new directory. Any additional questions on directories or uploading a file? Okay, so that's really it for program review. It's just you keep going down and rinse and repeat until you're done. And remember, there's no actual, you don't have to submit it to anybody. Once you're done, you're done. Everybody has until, I think, December 30th, December 31st to get everything in there. Because for our comprehensive, as soon as we get back on campus in January, I start printing them and submitting them, okay, to our program review committees and to our administrative review committees for their review process.
So that covers program review for both academic and administrative. Now, my academic folks, you also have, which we'll start talking about in just a minute, you need to submit your assessment results. And we have put it obviously in the handbook. We're going to go over it briefly now. We'll have labs in September for everybody who wants to come, just to have hands-on opportunities in an open lab to go through any of this and ask questions. Additionally, we have republished a new assessment handbook, and we have taken this section of SPUL and put it back into the assessment handbook. So again, if you're reporting results, and as always, please don't forget, just call the office. We always hate to hear, I spent 90 minutes trying to get this done. And I say, hey, you could have given us a call. We would have walked you through in 15 minutes. So don't hit your head against the wall. Just give us a call. We're happy to do one-on-one sessions. And yes, Liz just mentioned we have physically moved, but it's just across the hall. We're no longer in the suite there at the top of the spiral staircase. We're across the hall from that where College Now used to be. We're in 252. So when you come looking for us. So if you're an administrative person,
Wait.
Oh, sorry, says I can't.
One more thing.
Yep.
You'll have a little book on your blue toolbar. That's your resources section. Everybody needs to know where that is. So once you select it, you have to go to attachments, and any resources we've uploaded are there. So your handbooks are there. Guess what? They're already outdated. I'll update them soon. And this happens every year. As soon as I upload them, some type of change is made, and it's already happened. So I'll update them here in a couple of weeks. So always your most up-to-date version is here. For my academic folks, the completed report will be updated soon. As soon as I get it, I'll put the new one up. And you have links, program review website, the administrative one, Cognos for my academic folks. So they're institutional planning and research. I highly recommend my academic people go to the institutional planning and research page because it has additional reports that may be of use to you. Okay, so this is where your resources are. Now, my administrative people, unless you have questions for me, you can go ahead and drop off because I assure you, you don't want to be in on this part.
And I did have a question that just came in as Sonia gets ready here. They had a question about when you click on the Christine or Tina, I'm trying to see it here. When you first log into SPUL and click on your program, we should click on goals. We should see things only if you had a multi-year goal. If you set up to have a single year goal that finished last year, you had to have goals in there that were multi-year in order to see anything in the system now. If you finish them all according to how you had them set up, you won't see any. You'll have to start creating new goals. But Tina, if you have any problems, give us a call. What building and room number is your office in? We're in GEB 252. GEB 52 at the top of the spiral staircase. All right, Sonia, you ready?
Sure. All right, so we're going to go back to our assessment module for my academic people. You click it, you click on your department name. And then you're going to select outcomes. And you'll see you'll have general education student learning outcomes and you have institutional learning outcomes. I'm going to pull up my steps here. And so I'm going to go to general education learning outcomes. So you just click anywhere here in the shaded area and it's going to bring up our SLOs. And it'll be the same thing with the ILOs if you chose there. And so whichever one you have assessed, we're going to select the title. Now, in the handbook, you will see where it says select the title or selecting the shaded area. That makes a difference in this particular section. I don't know why it's so nuanced, but it is. So please select the title. And then that opens the template for you and we can start. So the first thing you do is select your program course. And so I would click program courses and it opens on the side, which is great news for us. It's much easier. I've been playing around in this, so my course is already selected. You just use a little checkbox. And then you do have to indicate the skill level. Is this an introductory course? Is this being reinforced or emphasized? And so introductory are your, what we call your 101 foundational courses. If it's something that's emphasizing an introductory course, you can choose that or reinforcing. And you click save. And that's the primary thing you need on this particular screen. Now you can do a description. Oh, it has the description for you of the learning outcome you've chosen. So you don't have to do anything there. Okay. And then you have your measure tab, and that's where you go to next. And this should look familiar. Rubric evaluation, course embedded assessment, or pre-test, post-test. Which one did you use to do your assessment? Okay, and that's the one you choose. And you choose the title of the assessment. And it brings you to a new screen. On this particular screen, the primary thing you have to do is where it says associated courses, you have to select it and then make sure you have selected the course, your associated course. And it should show up. Not sure why it wouldn't, but if you don't see anything, that means you've missed the first step and you have to go back. Because if you keep going, you're going to hit a roadblock. And since mine's already saved, I don't have to do anything, it's there. But again, you just highlight associated courses and click on it and it comes up on the right. Now, if you want to enter a description of your assessment tool, here is where you do that. You select it, and down here is where you can enter your narrative for your description. And always select save, and that information would be here. So the next item, we go to criteria. And again, click on the title of your assessment tool. Remember, I chose rubric evaluation. And it brings up something very familiar, but there's no information in it. So we've got to do some things first. So the first item is we're going to click in the shaded area where it says planning years and description. It kind of highlights it for you. And then that's going to bring up the screen. The only thing you need to do on this screen is this edit criteria, that target. Remember that target number? It's associated only with your mastery. So you ask yourself this question: what percentage of my students do I think should get mastery on this assessment? Not what percentage got mastery, but what percentage do I think should get mastery? Is it 20%? Is it 30%? Is it half? And depending on your course, it's kind of depending on, if you have an introductory course, it may be a low number. If this is a capstone course, it may be you expect over half your students to have mastered this. Okay, and you enter whole numbers only. And you see, I've already have 50% here, and you select save. That's the only thing you enter on that screen. Then we're going to go to our findings tab. And we're going to select this little blue plus symbol. And here's where we enter our information from our assessment data. So the planning year is already there. You enter the planning term. Did you do this in the fall? I need to add another planning term. I need to add the spring 2021. So you select your planning term. Maybe you did this assessment in the summer. The class should be generic. The class should be generic. Why isn't my class in there? So what was my sample size? Here we go. So if my sample size was 100 students, that's what I put in. I don't worry about the percent met. It's going to calculate that for me. Then I go in and I select how many did mastery, how many were progressing, how many were low or no skills. And as you see, as I entered this information, my percent met was done. And I'm going to be contacting SPOL because in this section, there's going to be a generic class there, meaning it's one of those fields we have to have, but since we do not ascribe to their formula, we had them just put a generic class here, and I'm not sure why it's not.
Okay, so this goes back, guys, to what we've talked about before and our belief that it's not about your individual section. We're talking about courses here. We don't want to say Lori Slavin's class did this or anything like that. So we only enter the course, and we're apparently an oddball school for doing that. So we just have the courses, and all the sections feed into that one course. So what should be there is just one course. And it's because of how we approach it. We don't break it out by a faculty member. We don't do that. But yeah, you need to go yell at SPOL why your Bunny Burrow rabbit thing isn't in there. So,
and then you also have notes. This is where you enter anything pertinent to the assessment instance. This assessment was done online for the first time because of COVID-19, or this assessment, we missed a bunch of days because of snowstorms or rolling blackouts, things like that, things that would have impacted the assessment other than the student, that was outside of student control, outside of your control. That's where we would enter notes here. And then you would select save, and you can't save it because I don't have a class there. So unfortunately, I can't show you the final product. But basically the final product is your progress report. It has all the information there. Yeah, I don't know why it's not coming up. But that's the assessment function. Still a lot of steps, but the screens are easier, in my opinion, to enter your information on. It's just the number of steps really did not decline.
Correct. That was, our hope was, in our discussions with SPOL, was that we would have less, and we've looked at a couple ways to have less, but in doing that, we open ourselves up to a lot of other problems. And so for the time being, we're still discussing with SPOL how to make this cleaner, how to actually do assessment properly, which is a whole nother discussion with them. But in the meantime, again, if you have problems with yours, give us a call. We're happy to walk you through the steps. In that notes section, you can also give any results that you find or changes that you intend to make to your curriculum based on what you found because of your assessment. We do pull that information. We always blind it, I guess I should say. I'm trying to follow along with foreign language. I'm trying on the graph link, trying to find that. Okay, I'll come back to Christina. That's why we're having, that's why we said at the beginning, this is an overview because it's going to have to be quick and you may not be able to keep up. That's why we're having open labs. In September, we picked out a bunch of dates. We're going to have it down in the CoLab, and you can come in and have a computer there, and we will physically be in the room to help you walk through stuff and hopefully make this that much easier. And again, as you remember last year, Sonia, we did what? Probably 90 one-on-ones as we got toward the end of program review. We are more than happy to do, live one-on-one sessions with you via Zoom, via Teams, via sit there kind of moment. So if you're having any trouble, there's no reason why you should struggle. Just give us a call and we'll walk you through it. So without problem shooting right now, and I'm not sure I can, we'll please come to one of the sessions we've got coming up in September, or give us a call and schedule your own.
Right. And so mostly should have academics in here now. Those Cognos reports. So you would go to your resources and then attachments. And then you have the link here. This is the only place you have to double click anything is the link for Cognos reports. I'm off campus, so I cannot do that. I do not have IPN, IBM, whatever it is. That one.
VPN. Yeah.
VPN, see?
She doesn't have IKEA. Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't have
So-
VPN, so I'm not going to double click on the link. The landing page is a little different. They've updated some things for us. It's nicer. Please use your program review handbook. Much easier to download your reports.
Right.
For my people who like to go in early to get that done, please wait till Wednesday. They are updating some reports still. And so if you go in and try to do it now, you're not going to get the right information.
So one thing to just let you know as an update, we met with IR this morning, and on some of your materials on attrition rates specifically, if you have gone above 15% on an attrition rate in your area, they're just highlighting it in red. Don't take it personal. They're just doing that to everybody. So if you have a class that's struggling and the attrition rate has really jumped up, you're going to see it highlighted in your report. And so that means you probably want to say something about it when you're in your narrative as well. But all the reports are in there ready to go tomorrow. There you go, tomorrow.
Yes, well, I said Wednesday. Yeah, I give people an extra day now when they tell
There you go.
me.
They're all in there and ready to go, and it's all grouped together and under program review reports, because there's some other academic reports that are available to campus that are listed there too, but those are the ones specifically that you will need. Again, if you have trouble because you're off campus, VPN, you have to use VPN or be physically on campus to get to Cognos. It's behind a firewall because it's very highly confidential data that we're hitting and bringing forward with these reports. So one or the other. Let us know if you're having a problem. We can extract it and send it to you. Now that you're wonderfully overwhelmed with program review, do you have any other questions? Again, come by the office. We have all your hard copies that you ever wanted to have. We call them picture books because Sonia put so many pictures of steps in it. So everybody can follow it. We have one for administrative, one for academic, and we have a new assessment handbook as well.
Any questions? We have about 5 minutes or so. If anybody has any questions or wanted to see a certain screen function again.
I just had one question on the assessment part.
Okay.
In the sections that you were showing us to fill out, I didn't see anything like where we normally had to write, kind of explanations, or is that still in there, or did I just?
That should be in notes.
Okay, in notes. Okay.
Yeah. So tell us what findings you had. Tell us anything that was unusual. One year I had somebody in a department that the teacher had a heart attack and was out the rest of the term. They made a note of that it could have an impact on the assessment results, or they thought it did. We got one last chat question. Is it possible Only trying to follow along. Okay. No questions for me. Okay. All right. Again, don't struggle in your office getting irritated with us. Just call us. So we'll be happy to help out. Thank you, everybody. Have a great PDD, and we'll see you all soon, I'm sure. Bye, everybody. Virtual and unvirtual.